I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to cover family, hobbies, and professional. Let's start off with family. I was born in Florida, actually DeLand, Florida, if anybody knows where that is, and was raised by parents that had moved all over the place. Most recently, they had moved from Minnesota, got way too cold with wind chill and all, and moved down to Florida. But they were born and raised in Nebraska. I bring this up because for most of my life, my accent has been kind of Midwestern, though it's been evolving. Now, I'm married to my best friend, my wife. We've been married for about 8 years or so. She's easily. My hobbies? Well, I mentioned kids. There's hobbies before kids, after kids, and hopefully these hobbies before kids will morph to be hobbies with kids.
There you go.
I used to be an avid mountain biker, though it's kind of slacked off a little bit, and kayaking and whatnot. Those activities had, a lot of draw to me because they allowed me to thwart adversity.
There you go.
And you have lots of planning and whatnot in order to make sure that you're good to go. Nowadays, it's metalwork and woodworking. When I was in college, I took 3 years of welding, so I got proficient in MIG and TIG welding. TIG welding's the pretty stuff. And most recently, I'm doing woodworking with my father-in-law. We've just reached substantial completion, because there's little odds and ends left, of a Murphy bed in our house.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. Professionally, well, I've been doing building envelope consulting for a while now. I'll explain what that is. That has to do with keeping water out of buildings, making them nice and inhabitable. I started that with my father when I was in high school and have been doing it ever since.
Wow.
Between here and there, I've gotten an engineering degree in order to, be official and whatnot. And we've pretty much been developing from there. I parted ways with my father on amicable terms during the recession. That was right around when I got married, and there just wasn't enough money to go around for both of us, so I had to part ways. That brought me up to South Carolina, actually the Clemson area. I could have seen that solar eclipse, really nice. Well, there I was working at a nuclear station.
Wow.
The nuclear station, they really care about building envelope consultants because, as you might imagine, it's a bad day when you have water coming into, a contaminated space. It's a lot of work to clean up, and then there's also the possibility of electrocution. So that's a challenge there for those folks. But ended up finding ourselves going back and forth from South Carolina to Florida, South Carolina, Florida, for all the holidays and everything. And that got to be pretty rigorous, so we moved back to be closer to both sets of grandparents. It's been a good move. These kids really love both their grandparents and all, and we're pretty excited about that. Well, I'm still working for the same company that I was working for up there. They actually flew me back and forth for about a year or so, rented me an apartment after a house sold and all, so I could close down affairs up there, and unfortunately now I'm in Florida. That means that I am using my PE degree to be their engineer of record,
Oh, hey.
also the one that takes on all the liability. I'm also in charge of client development, looking for new clients and keeping existing ones, and trade meetings. This brings me to the whole purpose of Toastmasters and what I hope to gain from it. It's convention in our company to present to peers at conventions and whatnot for stuff that we've learned. I would like to do that. It's also expected of me to do presentations to prospects, have them figure out why they need REI, which that's the company I work for. And I hope through Toastmasters I can get better at persuasive speeches. That pretty much sums it up. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent. Stay up there. Stay up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.